Excited to sit down with you. As we're kind of closing out another year in this world of refinish, we're excited to take this opportunity to kind of reflect on the innovation that has been achieved by your team in 2025 and kind of discuss what might be ahead in 2026. Megan, you bring a very unique insight into what it takes to support business partners in collision centers, manufacturers, custom coaters, and more, including distribution partners like ColorVision and other PPG Platinum distributors. So we appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks, Abby. I'm really excited to be here and talk to you today. I know it's been a busy year for both the ColorVision team and our PPG Platinum distributor network. So this is a really awesome time to reflect on all the innovations and partnership that we have together to talk about, how we can work with our collision centers and body shops and fix real life problems in December and going into 2026.
Well, we're excited for another great year, but kind of reflecting on 2025, towards the start of this year, we saw the launch of Deltron NXT DC720. It's a premium Glamour speed Clearcoat. What feedback have you been receiving, from the field regarding both the performance and how is it changing that productivity expectations for collision centers?
Yeah, Abby, the Deltron NXT DC720 launched earlier this year. So it was a 2025 innovation. And since launch, it's been really well received by painters. We had a record number of field trials. And, as we were trialing this one and making sure it met the mark, we kept getting questions of, when can we start using it? So painters, they continue to call out the standout appearance. We get a lot of feedback around this strong gloss holdout and the fact that it delivers glamour clear while being able to deliver speed. The 5-minute bake time has also been a reoccurring theme and talking point that we continue to hear. So many of our shops, use the word game changer when they're talking about DC720 for the time savings that we talked about. It helps our painters to move through the booth faster and really cut down on energy use compared to a lot of 15-minute bake time products that are out in the market. As a result, they're able to do more jobs. It helps with boosting, overall throughput and profitability. So, really excited to work with our painters using DC720 and continue to hear the feedback.
Well, I know our team has, heard that positive feedback on this product, both in the speed that they're achieving, but also that gloss holdout, which, sometimes you don't hear about gloss and speed going hand in hand. So it's been exciting to hear those positive notes from our customers. One of our tech reps shared that we have a shop called Andover Body Shop in Kansas, and they said that it's been best, if not one of the best innovations that ColorVision and PPG have brought in. So always love hearing that positive feedback from our partners.
Yeah, thanks for sharing a real life example from our collective, body shop customers. I think a lot of the themes that you just mentioned that you hear at Andover resonates with, what I hear from other painters as well. The jump in productivity for DC720, it's definitely streamlining workflows. And that's the part that our team really likes to work with the ColorVision team to roll up our sleeves and dig into process. So continued feedback on how this product, helps shops run their day-to-day operations more smoothly.
So on top of, DC720, as we're talking about some of those enhanced product performance or, new formulations, PPG came out with the Deltron NXT DAS402 series sealers, which introduced some versatility this year. How are painters, reacting to this new reformulation in terms of color holdout, coverage, and productivity? What feedback are you getting?
Yeah, good call out, Abby. The DAS 402X sealer that was launched, it's centered on reformulating the series without oxal. So while the core performance remains consistent with the original sealer that our customers, trusted and used, we used it as an opportunity to really make a few refinements based off of, opportunities we identified from painters. So the updated sealers, they work under both the Deltron NXT and EnviroBase high performance base coat systems, which is especially valuable in regions with evolving legislation. And they also feature a simpler mix ratio to make day-to-day use easier. So we're always hearing feedback from painters, we need easier to use mix ratios. So we're excited that that's delivered in part of the new sealer. And then also a key part of this launch was reinforcing our commitment to offering products to stay ahead of the regulation changes. So while we're improving, usability, we're able to make sure that we can consistently, use this product across all of our region.
That's good to hear. And I, again, appreciate that additional insight on that oxal and then kind of what your team is doing to stay proactive in the face of those evolving regulations that impact our industry. On the topic of, innovation, enhanced solutions, kind of want to shift to what's been, one of the most exciting product launches this year for our team. We were really honored to collaborate with PPG and the marketing team on the launch for PPG VELOCITY Refinish System. And kind of as we've seen economic pressures impact the collision industry, how has PPG Velocity proven to be the new go-to solution for shops that are looking to reduce those costs, but, do not want to sacrifice the quality?
Yeah, this is a fun story to talk through, Abby. So the Velocity line was designed this year, and it was a launch in 2025, really from the ground up to help our shops stay productive while also being cost conscious to combat, a lot of the challenges that you just walk through. So we wanted to make sure there were no compromises on quality or color. And the system that we came up with, PPG Velocity, it's fast, it's flexible, it's easy to use. And it has clears that support a one visit application approach with different varying air dry and bake time options. So the feedback's continued to be positive on this. Painters tell us that it's easy to use, easy to spray and blend. It delivers the appearance they want while keeping their cycle times tight. So we believe we've met the target here. And we're really excited about this productive, durable, user-friendly system that really, it was created to meet the needs of our value-focused body shops.
Well, I can imagine a lot of work went behind the scenes into developing this new refinish system. Would you be able to provide a little bit more background on maybe the history and the development for PPG Velocity and what that may have looked like?
That's right, Abby. So as we were getting ready to build this one, we talked to our PPG colleagues around the world, and we identified an existing technology that's been used globally and has a track record that's spanning multiple decades. So there's a lot of history and proven stories, with this one, and it takes a lot of collaboration from PPG along with our PPG Platinum Distributor Network and partners like ColorVision to make sure that when we're putting together a full product line that we're bringing to the market, like PPG Velocity, that it's going to meet the mark. So I know we've really partnered with you all over the last year to make sure that Velocity aligns with colors that are seen in the US market. We wanted to make sure that all the popular local colors, including those, hard to blend metallics, are covered with this product line. So Abby, I really wanted to thank you and the entire team at ColorVision for rolling up your sleeves with this one, embracing PPG's latest innovations, including PPG Velocity. It's been really exciting for me and the team to hear how the solutions and the service, really resonate with the body shop, to hear the stories of the real life impacts that we see from our customers. And I know that your team at ColorVision has made 3 early adopters out of body shops that today are mixing PPG Velocity. We have Blakely Services in Kansas. We have Body Works Unlimited in Missouri and Hernandez Body Shop in Arkansas. And, it's great to hear about body shops that want to bring in new innovation and, see the benefits of the products that we just talked to. So our team heard from these shops as well as others. And the reoccurring themes include the speed from the clears. We hear the coverage is excellent, and also just the overall sprayability of the product and how the metallics lay out.
Megan, you mentioned Body Works. I had the opportunity to go and visit their shop and talk with them. And they shared with me how excited they were at, how easy it was to put Velocity in and that it's just simple and easy to use. I know that they appreciated that. And then they also mentioned the map band guide that's available with the PPG Velocity system and how that's helped them, make sure that they're hitting the right sheen space with their clear coats. You mentioned coverage. We saw a shop adopt a Velocity and they were trying to color match in a green space. And, they were mixing and doing about 5 to 6 coats, 5 to 6 coats to try to hit that green. And it still wasn't matching. And then, talked with our team and we were able to hit that space within 1.5 coats. So it seems that the shops that have been adopting Velocity have been able to integrate it and run with it pretty quickly. And a huge part of that has been the phenomenal support that we've received from PPG and from, the technical team at, PPG with the Kansas City Business Development Center, working to both introduce these painters through spray sessions, but also through, continued support as they onboard Velocity and make sure that they feel supported as they convert to a PPG system.
Absolutely, Abby. And we recognize the importance of training facilities and being able to do the hands-on application, just like PPG's Business Development Center that I know ColorVision, partners with in Kansas City, and how we really use this capability to be able to support painters as, they're adapting to new innovations, whether we're talking about products and technologies or digital tools. So I met with a regional MSO yesterday, and I was talking to their operations leaders, and they were suggesting that they're facing continued challenges with recruiting skilled technicians and painters. I know this is a headline everyone's familiar with, but they reference that, the last few months have been even more of a struggle for them. And as many of our shops do, this particular customer, they partner with 3 different technical schools in their area to help with recruiting for technicians and painters. And, we were talking through how PPG Velocity is the perfect solution that really resonates and helps attract that next generation of painters. So when you think about it, there's a lot of great products in our industry, but many of them are challenging to apply. And many of them require, a lot of experience. And the experience of a painter that, maybe has been spraying for 2 or 3 decades. So with PPG Velocity's easy to use and apply characteristics, this is really a great fit for supporting that new painter, and bringing them on board to our industry. So we have digital color tool capabilities that work great with Velocity to help with color matching. The next gen of painters, they love to leverage these digital tools. They expect it when they walk into our body shops. So this is really a combination of how liquid innovations can partner well with software technology, support the industry and folks coming on board and ensuring that we get to the right easy to blend color.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I mean, when you talk about that next gen, I mean, I've had some conversation with instructors in collision repair programs and talking about Velocity and kind of how it hits that space with preparing painters for, the job market as they enter, but also still being an economical choice for them and for schools that are teaching. So we appreciate that. As an added layer to the team's, high performing systems. PPG is positioned kind of in the market as having these OEM approved coatings. And so we know that PPG coatings are used by OEMs, but they're also approved for that refinish process. Can you walk us through, what does it take to earn that level of qualification? And how does that differentiate PPG in the market?
Yeah, great question, Abby. So earning OEM approvals, as you're suggesting, it requires a rigorous qualification process. So our products are developed understanding the OEM testing protocols, and we build, directly into the development cycles. Our global team maintains ongoing relationships from these manufacturers and OEMs around the world. This ensures we meet standards for durability, performance, long-time reliability, all the things that are important to an OEM. So beyond product approvals, PPG also supports certification, as you know, shops and painters and your team team is a core part of that. Technicians are certified for 2 years before renewals, which keeps them current on the proper application processes. We're talking about new innovations, so it's really important that we're constantly training and renewing. The combination of product approvals plus the hands-on training is really, I think, what sets PPG apart and reinforces our commitment to supporting OEMs, across the refinish environment.
Well, we appreciate, just a little bit of that, information regarding what it takes to hit that OEM level. So our team has seen firsthand, 2025 has been a very busy year for product launches from both PPG and SEM as well. So as we look ahead to the new year, what excites you most about that next evolution of the refinish portfolio from PPG and SEM, especially in terms of, new product development? What do we have to look forward to, Megan?
2026 is going to have lots of surprises. So our focus is to continue really focusing on real pain points that our painters and body shops experience, just like the real life examples that we've talked through. Every new product is developed to create efficiencies, focus on productivity. We understand the market demands and we're here to help. So recent innovations that have come through SEM, like Mix and Shake, they're great examples of how this approach can really, help our painters get back valuable time and also reduce costs, tied to things like mixing equipment. So what's coming in 2026? It follows that same philosophy, that same blueprint. We have, for SEM in particular, some upcoming launches that we're really excited about. Clearcoat 3 is aimed around simplifying different item selections. It's an expanded product range that's really going to deliver the value and the ease of use that our painters expect for aerosols. For SEM, both near term and long term, our goal is to broaden the value prop for collision repair, and then also offer that full line of products that we support the repair process, whether you're talking before, during the prep process, or during spray application in the booth or afterwards.
Well, our team's always excited to see, what might be in the pipeline and coming. Innovation is always essential, but we also believe, there's the purpose behind the products. And so at ColorVision, we always operate with our mission that kind of keeps us grounded. And our mission statement is our success depends on yours. So how does PPG reflect that same philosophy and how it serves and supports its customers?
Absolutely. And I think that, our groups have a lot of common elements of the cultures, that you just explained. At PPG, our success is really about our customer success. They're at the center of how we build our products and our processes. So we spend a lot of time understanding the challenges that painters face. Our team, rolls up their sleeves and they get into the body shop. And we also rely on our distribution partners, like ColorVision, the feet on the street, to give us the, valuable insights of how we can work together to understand the challenges. And we're all about simplifying the repair workflow, streamlining the product choices. So it's great to have new innovative products, but we also want to make the offer simple and streamlined for our customers. We bring forward tools that add real value. So that includes everything from coatings to ancillary products like the SEM examples we talked through, to really, drive those process improvements. And the training support and knowledge is something that we're really proud of and that we continue to develop and invest in. We like to help our shops stay efficient, productive, profitable. Everyone is succeeding, including, our partners. And that mindset is really the approach that drives all the decisions that we make across our portfolio, and it's how we support the industry.
Well, our team, we see that dedication that your team brings from product to sales and beyond. We definitely appreciate it. And again, Megan, I appreciate your time today and for sharing how PPG, continues to innovate with purpose. We're proud to work alongside you and PPG as a partner that shares, our commitment to customer success. And we are very excited to see what's to come in the new year.
Debbie, this was great. I really appreciate your time. And I think we both agree that the teams really have a collective passion for bringing solutions to, solve our customers' problems. We understand The industry, certainly faces problems, and the good news is we're very focused on innovation and solutions that will make life in the body shop easier from a process and day-to-day perspective. So we're excited about new innovations that we have coming in 2026, and we look forward to our continued partnership and sharing more with you. Thanks,
Wonderful.
Abby.
Thank you.